不要凶嘛，不要凶嘛，我不是故意的。
Prepare for battle.
我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦！我正补，我反补，我正补，我又反补啦
！Number one, Cinder, I didn't even get your thoughts on the draft here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's interesting that you have this much time to prepare and you don't really know what to expect. And I would say, as far as surprises go, I feel like Aster are bringing something new here. They do get this D ward, by the way, worth mentioning, is a little bit of a head start for them in that mid lane.
30 seconds.
They're bringing some stuff here that we haven't seen them play that much. They're playing the Underlord on XXS, the Spirit Breaker on Bo3. I don't think they played these heroes much, if at all, in the playoffs, whereas Liquid are more sticking to their guns of what we've seen. So this is something I'm very curious to see throughout this day in the next series as well, like how the teams prepare and have different approaches. I'm not going to say one is better than the other because I genuinely don't know, but it seems like the mentality or the approach is
That's the thing about
different.
having this many days off is the theory crafting probably gets to the point where it's not even helpful anymore. So we're going to see the rebound here from Bo3, but Siamese Cat's going to be A-okay. And it looks like the bounties have been split evenly to start us off here for today.
Yeah, and it will be the expected lanes here. So bottom lane will be Brood together with Marcy against Maiden Sniper. Mid is Lesh against Lina. And finally top lane, Underlord, Spirit Breaker facing off against Lich Bloodseeker. So as we talked about on the panel, probably a slight edge in the mid lane to Mickey here with the Lina matchup against Lesh. We've seen this played a decent amount this tournament. Lesh has been incredibly popular and Lina has been one of the best responses that we've set our eyes on. And speaking of which, setting eyes on, Bo3 is playing very aggressively onto Insania, skilling charge level 1 for some damage.
Mickey and Ori facing off in mid lane, Lina versus Leshrac. See Zai getting harassed by quite a bit as we have a pause, and I don't know if those are oohs, ahs, or boos, or all of the above, Cinder, but pause today.
And the crowd goes wild.
The crowd goes ah.
What a pause!
You will make a nice snow angel.
So I imagine we have a small tech issue. We have not been given a reason just yet for why this pauses, but this gives us a little bit more time. All right, so disconnect from Insania makes it seem.
Well, I've heard some players have to change their chat wheel to be not GG, but of course that might not relate to these teams at all, considering they're all good manner players.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine a player like Insania having GG in his chat wheel, but you never know. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised once you might have your opinion on players, and then you meet them in real life. They could be a totally different beast, you know?
Never meet your heroes, and that's why I regret ever meeting Sir Action Slacks.
He was your hero?
That's true, actually. That wasn't accurate at all. I just wanted to throw that out there regardless.
The conclusion is never Slacks.
Yes. That's what I was trying to get across. Appreciate it. That's here. You're analyzing my thoughts.
Telling you what you wanted to say.
That's right. Very good. How does Zai play Brood this game?
Yeah, so it sounded like, so Toby is quite the Brood specialist, and it sounded like he thinks this should be a feeling for Brood. I don't play the hero much. I feel like, from my perspective, Maiden Sniper probably does okay, at least for a few levels. Once Brood gets level 6, you're screwed down here as Maiden Sniper. You have to evacuate and solve it, but that's where Aster have a hero like Underlord who could go there. They could park the Lesh there if they really have to defend the tower. But for starters, I would imagine this double range lane does fine against Brood. Zai will just try to stay alive, get some CS where he can. You're seeing Bo3 currently planning on pulling the wave down there to try to get a little bit of a different lane positioning so that Brood can get closer to his tower. And then,
well, we're about to unpause. I want to get the crowd's reaction here. Let's do a live poll since we have some time here. Can I hear who is rooting for Aster today? Aster. Okay, that was kind of underwhelming. I'm not gonna lie.
That was lukewarm.
And what about Team Liquid? Oh my. Okay, so we have some bias here in the crowd. First it was OG, but they're not here anymore. So, to the next EU. We're underway again. Insania pushing back Baboka. Mid lane still relatively even on, but 2 denies already from Mickey, but relatively a wash at the moment. Still taking damage from Insania. If you had told me 6 months ago that Lich and CM would be played to this extent, I would not have believed you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting development. I think especially Lich, because Crystal Maiden has kind of had her time on and off recently, but Lich, it's been quite a while since we've seen given this priority. Bit of poke back and forth.
Zai. This is kind of a weird right now. Monet kind of on the other side of his tower. But the rebound is there on top of this. Monet, click away, no dispose yet, but he's still only level 1. In the end, a lot of harassment damage traded each way.
Yeah, if you play Dota casually, you'd be like, why are 2 heroes behind the tier 1 tower minute 1? And this is simply what happens when the position 4 in the enemy team repulls and repositions the wave behind there. You have to go and contest this experience in gold. You can't just, the Liquid side, get that for free when you have lane. You are willing to take those trades, and ultimately what ends up happening has a grand total of 2 CS to the 10 of Sniper with the good head start here on Monet getting in behind there.
The rebound. Dispose is available this time. Shrapnel comes out to do some residual damage. Monet taking the brunt of it though. Do they have enough to get first blood in this game? Bo3 continuing on, and there it is. Bo3 with the first blood as Sniper goes bye-bye. Great start for Liquid in this lane, despite, like you said, the CS for Zai not being too respectable, but this should open it up at least a little bit for him.
Yeah, so he's not the one getting the first blood, but he gets the space in the lane now, right? He gets to, I believe, deny 2 range creeps here potentially. Nah, I think the second one will be secured here. It will. By Pichu. But yeah, Zai will be very happy with that. Even if you don't get that first blood, just getting a little bit of time. He's now going to get his level 3. Currently holding the skill point. Curious what he's going to choose, because it feels like all of the skills here actually have some decent merit with how this lane's playing out. He's eyeing up his options, not choosing just yet. We'll go for the Silken Bola now.
Nice.
More aggressive approach, I guess you could say. It's kind of hybrid, right? You can also use it to slow and run away, so.
Like you said, once he hits 6, could be scary times for Aster. I mean, at that point, what does Monet do? Where can you go as a sniper? We're going to see another rebound, this time on the Siamese Cat for the Crystal Maiden. Looks like that's going to be another death in this lane for Aster. And Bo3 and Zai kind of punishing. I've seen so many times with the Marcies in this tournament. Insania in the top lane, though, getting chased. Looks like he'll live as Matu trading some right clicks with XX7.
Yeah, obviously the Bloodseeker benefiting massively as well whenever they play aggressively bottom, gets that thirst bonus up top and trying to turn that into even more advantage here for Liquid. Yeah, you've got to be really wary of your positioning, and it's easier said than done, right? Your Crystal Maiden, you kind of want to at least put some sort of pressure and do some damage, but at this point when Marcy and Brood are both level 3, I think you have to backline behind the Sniper. If he gets jumped on, you use both your spells defensively and you try to reposition and stabilize. At the same time, if you have to sacrifice somebody, it's better that the Maiden dies than the Sniper. And ultimately, I think the Sniper is just going to sit maybe mid, or you open up top and you play up there. Okay, taking some serious damage bottom. Not enough to die, but he doesn't have any regen except 1 level in Spin Web, so it'll take quite a while before he's online to fight with Bo3 again.
Able to TP out. I would expect the kills to start ramping up a little bit more now, just because we have such aggressive heroes overall. Especially with the Spear Breaker on the side of Aster. As we haven't really seen a gank mid. Does that surprise you at all? Because I feel like that's a Spear Breaker special, as I say that he's charging right now.
There you go. I don't think it's surprising we haven't had it yet, but I think this is a pretty good time to do it. Mickey's running out of mana. There's no power runes, but we'll not to find the angle here, Bo3.
Turns around on some Monet as I able to get the Insatiable Hunger off as well, and Monet's in a lot of trouble with the frostbite. A lot of damage to Zai in the meantime, as Bo3 looking for another kill for himself onto Monet. That is the second just for him. I'm not even sure if Zai was in range for XP at that point.
I'm sure if Bo3 got all of it, they don't really mind. Again, it's a matter of just giving Brute the space here to recover the CS in the lane. Zai currently sitting on 1-0 and 2 in terms of KDA, so...
Oh, the charge coming from the other side from Bo3, but Bo3 is ready for this, but the Split Earth is there with the Pulse Nova. Mickey taking tons of damage, does get off a good LSA, but it does not save him in the end as Bo3 getting run down now by Ori's Pulse Nova. Double kill for him. And Zai, now that they know he's left to his own devices, they can kind of harass him out of lane to a degree.
Oh my god, look how many creeps are mid too. They get the double kill. This is 2 full waves and a siege creep just hitting this tower. So first of all, you get a lot of tower damage in here, but the death stings that much more for the Lina losing effectively full wave.
Getting low, and Boboka's charge will finish the job as Aster now all over the map as we kind of expected with the draft. They will take full advantage of this space cow.
Yeah, and this is the luxury you have in this position with having this Underlord top. It's hard for Matu to put meaningful pressure onto XXS, who's running a Bracer and Ring of Health. He's just buying a full self-sustained build. He's going to finish his Vanguard now as well, coming out on the Courier. So if you want to kill this Underlord as Liquid, you need to bring 3+ heroes. I don't think they have any other way.
No comms at all. Interesting strategy at TI-11. Monet. The bottom. They do get that tier 1 tower, like you said, but very even game despite that. And top lane is the one we haven't really talked about too much, but Matu...
Maybe they were all watching Naruto.
What's that?
Maybe they were all watching Naruto.
That's true. I mean, I talked to a couple Liquid members as well during the break, and I mean, they couldn't find scrims, right? None of these teams probably could find many. Kind of a weird situation, and you kind of overanalyze probably. I think taking some days off was probably pretty important for a lot of these teams just to reset, because especially for Liquid, who had all that momentum that, I don't know, I would have been super drained.
The overall consensus that I gathered was that I think most teams, if not all of them, took 1 to 2 days off and then started getting back into it. You know, you take a little bit of a break, make sure you don't overwork yourself, because it is very, very mentally taxing to prepare for these games, and you've obviously played a very long tournament already to get to this point, so getting that little bit of a breather, definitely helpful. Aster with a... I don't know if we should call this a recovery. Obviously the bottom lane was not going too hot, but the rest of the map looking very good, and with that rotation bot where they killed Zai, they managed to take the tier 1 tower. They almost got the tier 1 tower mid as well, minute 8, which is very good news for Aster. Zai?
He wants to go on Monet, but he's going to get Frostbite and charge. Already at half HP, and Monet could just right-click from afar as the charge connects, and one more right-click should do it, although Siamese Cat nets himself the kill with another Frostbite. And this Broodmother feels like it's getting shut down a bit in the last couple minutes. I
love playing Spirit Breaker against this hero, I gotta say. It feels so rewarding and so powerful that if Brood shows at any point, you get this connection. And Crystal Maiden is a great support to play it with in the early stages because you have this long route and slow. You see Pichu in this game choosing to max out Frostbite, which we've seen sometimes. It varies whether people prioritize Frostbite or Crystal Nova, but against the Brood, the route is just so good to allow Sniper to get in all of that damage. Let's see if Monet skills Assassinate or not, because we've seen different Sniper builds here on level 6, whether you take that route at all, or if you focus on maxing out Headshot. All right, Bo3 with the job.
And that is enough burst damage, but Boca charge not in time. Mickey gets credit for that kill. That is his first of the game. He has a haste rune still, and with the Falcon Blade going for the BKB as a pretty fast item. Matu is getting chased, but just the other side of the fog here. So
very good ward there. Pichu will realize this. Like he read that all too well. So
Radiant's middle tower
gonna get the D ward, and they force out the glyph. Lesh will immediately rotate into mid. They don't want to lose their mid tower. Ori is gonna show here.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Well, Mickey is getting charged, so now there's TPs coming into the mid lane. Get the LSA off. Oh, uses the horsey and gives himself enough distance to get away. But in the meantime, they're going to find Bo3 instead, who was trying to help out Mickey, but wasn't really needed in the end.
Yeah, it looked like Bo3 was trying to find an angle where he could maybe get a dispose onto the Leshrac, but what there was that they rotated not only the Lesh, but also the Crystal Maiden in the tree line. So when Bo3 did try to go for that, it just gets frostbitten from the side and does not find any move. At the very least, the good news for Liquid here, bottom tower will be claimed. Brood is starting to build a new home here, as Brood does. You know what build Zai goes here? We've seen a lot of Broods go this Arcane Boots into either Pipe or Wraith Pact, these kind of auras. I assume this game will be no different, but I wonder what the priority will be.
Pipe is freaking good.
Yeah, there's a lot of random magic damage, and it's a great way of keeping your spiders alive during fights.
He is taking control of the bottom lane. I mean, that's the one thing about transitioning out of this lane. Root, you'll just take over.
Has to be so careful with showing on the lane, though. He's actually showing his hero, and that means he's opening himself up to being charged at any point.
Yep, all they need is a little bit of vision. As Aster in the cover of smoke, Zai in the trees, but his spidey senses are tingling for once that actually
Quite
makes
literally.
sense. Yep, looks like he'll be okay, so a little bit of wasted time, although... Yeah, that he's in the area.
Wasted though.
Pops! Oh, Crystal Nova just off. Actually did connect, and now they have the vision. There's the charge from Baboka. In comes XXS as well. And that is a big kill onto Zai. It took some time, but it worked out, and now XXX can just go back to where he came from.
This is a pretty cool duo of heroes that we like never see played. The Spirit Breaker plus Underlord combo. You charge someone, you Fiend's Gate in, and Spirit Breaker has that natural follow-up that he needs. This hero's one of its weaknesses, even though it's one of the best roamers in the game, is that it doesn't really solo kill very well. But, you know, if you have something like Underlord connecting or Sunstrike, like whatever it is at your disposal, then situations can suddenly look quite promising. Baboka with a charge, no rune here.
Moxie is here. Nice pin of Malice over to dispose, keeps XXS at bay. Already at half HP, and in comes the Lich as well. But look, 4 members of Aster are continuing on here as Insania gets off his Chain Frost. Will drop in the end, and Bo3 has finally come to play, but the Laguna Blade on top of the Rupture is enough to find himself a kill. Now the focus is onto Baboka, but the Sniper's gonna get the brunt of the damage, and Foxy gets the stun off, and Baboka will be next. Big turnaround here for Liquid. Great transition from Matu.
Yeah, they make sure to bring the numbers there. Matu coming in, Lina with the double damage. It's just too overwhelming. And Monet, yeah, would have probably been wise to not get involved there. You can understand why he's trying to help out his teammates, but Boxy isolates him with the rebound dispose combo, and once Sniper is repositioned, he's not getting out of there. Does not have any way of repositioning himself for now. Wonder if he's gonna buy a shard later to try to help with that, but for now, obviously going a pretty standard route, Mask of Madness to Wraith Bands and Treads, eyeing up the Dragonlance Pipe. Another way to reposition, of course. And he should need it this game, but you gotta be feeling really good if you're Liquid with that exchange, though.
Yep, absolutely. The lead has slipped into their side, just barely though. As we get into rehash this conversation again, Cinder, you know where I'm going with this, I'm sure, but
Tier 5 neutral items.
The old Roshan. As we're going to see, another strike onto Insania. Ori is in the area, gets off the Lightning Storm. But the Frost Shield ends up mitigating a bit of damage here and forces the rest of Aster away, as this is taking just too long to get a high 5 for their efforts. Which team would you say has the advantage in the Roche pit, both killing and fighting in the area?
I guess for killing, I would imagine Liquid does it maybe a little bit faster. It's kind of close.
All right, that was an Eternal Envy type showdown. That was nice.
They got done with their Naruto episode and now they're playing, so good to see.
Indeed. You were saying about Roshan.
Yeah, so I think overall, I guess the Dire, depending on, I guess it's level 1 sidekick. It's kind of hard to say who's faster at it. I do like Aster's chances of fighting in the area in general, though. Underlord, Lesh, and Spirit Breaker, as well as Shrapnel level 4, is very, very good in that area. But I think neither team has any interest in even thinking about Roche for quite a while. Neither lineup is particularly good at it. There's a lot of risk involved. See? Charge
in the top lane next to the tier 2, but the Frost Shield comes out again. Chain Frost not really bouncing, but finally does off of the creeps, and that is going to cause Ori to drop. But Boka gets disposed, TP canceled, second kill for Liquid. A big punish in the top lane. That kill's been pretty annoying for Aster to go.
Yeah. They chose to go for that with 5-second cooldown for the strike. Didn't have Spirit Breaker ults. That component, but also Liquid seemed like they just read that play like a book. You know, Meke was in position immediately, getting that counterplay. Nicely done from them. They get those 2. Meke now rocking a BKB. Is very ready to fight. Liquid actually hitting a strong timing here, and this smoke
the Horsey is there. He gets stunned. one, a huge for Lip. X has come to play with his and Bob. Look, there is Mickey Monty wanted to take the side potentially. They're going to try to focus on nice stun from with Mickey. Now follow forward deck for Aster and Liquid. I mean, they got the start and Aster still wanted to fight and get punished.
Yeah, just Lesh didn't get to play his hero there. Got chain stun completely, rebound into the LSA, took the full burst there from Mickey, and they get that job done easily. You're gonna see on the replay here, so really nice way to open this with Bo3 getting the rebound. They kill the sniper before any assistance arrives. As XXS comes in and does kill off the Lich, it's a pretty small consolation prize. Nice fear here, by the way, from Insania, stopping that freezing
stun
field.
Coming up soon.
Yep.
Which absolutely destroyed.
Perfect.
My
Triple
God.
stun into double stun.
And that was the Bloodstone reveal as well on the Lesh, and it just gets destroyed. Not literally, not a Kyle. But Bo3 now in the bot lane. He's going for the Shadow Blade.
Regeneration.
As Zai, again, he's just been chilling in the bot lane. He's close to finishing his pipe, and we talked about the amount of magic damage that Aster has. That is going to be a huge pickup for them.
It seems like the play call here from Liquid is just leave Zai alone. Let him do whatever he wants. He needs to get that item before he really offers teamfight impact.
Radiant's middle
Curious to
tower
see what the
is
idea
under
is
attack.
now. It's coming out. Are you going to see a bigger rotation? Are we looking at a bottom tier 2 tower? Are we looking at a potential rotation into killing a hero mid and then getting Roche? There's plenty of options for Liquid here with the game state they have set themselves up for. And I mean, essentially, if Zai doesn't have to join, why would he, right? He can also just keep farming down here and keep being a Pestilence, forcing heroes to rotate down here and defend, putting pressure on the tower, and just farming up, get toward his next item. Maybe an Axe could be on the menu. Extremely annoying item to play Spirit Breaker against, the Brood Axe. So definitely could be something he's considering.
Liquid want to keep up the aggression. Okay, now the BKB from Matu. 2 BKBs on the side of Liquid. And they are definitely ready to fight. With the tower, take a little bit of damage, but XXS, he's going to show himself with the Firestorm, but Liquid want to kind of reset here. One thing we didn't really talk about is the fact that two obviously face in the upper bracket, and we've seen it so many times. The upper bracket team that wins, that faces the team again in the lower bracket. The lower bracket team ends up learning more about that matchup overall, and they got to see Tundra beat Aster as well. Potentially that's what we're seeing here right now, but standing under the high ground, he is so tanky at half HP, but twice. Looks like it's going to be a trade for the position 5s. Nice freezing kill coming out, but it only delays the inevitable.
Oh, they ruptured Lesh.
Yep, he gets his Bloodstone off just in time as Bo3 pops a BKB, but the Lesh is dead. Laguna Blade into the grave, and Bo3 getting chased, but a nice Pit of Malice, keeping Bo3 and company in this area, but the Dispose comes out on Bo3, but he does have the status resistance, and gets the charge off. That right click is coming for him. Is that enough? It doesn't look like it. He shall live.
What an amazing escape from Bo3 there, turning around to dodge the stun and then finding the charge through everyone to survive. I definitely had him expected dead there, but he gets out of there. Still, the big kill for Liquid is the Lesh. They keep finding him every fight. Zai, okay.
Yeah, he's here all alone. Insania,
My God!
Starts, but the Assassinate is coming, and that's not going to help you there. So Monet getting a nice pickup for himself as he's kind of struggling. He's middle of the pack in terms of net worth, and this is a hero that you do not want in that area. I mean, how much of a comeback mechanic do you have on this hero, would you feel, based on the items that he's going for? Because he has Mask of Madness, Dragonlance, he's going for Hurricane Pike, so it feels like more mobility / utility than damage.
I guess with this build, you definitely do farm slower than if you had, say, Mom Maelstrom, but you probably just have to get the Pike at this time. If you go Mask Maelstrom, you just... It's gonna take too long before you have the essential items to be any sort of presence in a team fight. This is also a pretty good single target damage build, right? You have a long range, obviously you have you can activate the take aim for the guaranteed headshots, which by the way are only level 2 on Monet currently, so his damage will ramp up significantly when he levels up to 13, 14.
Oh, Matu getting traction. There's a Fiend's Gate here as well. He pops the BKB, but still gets stunned. That is 4 members of Aster, and that is a nice pickup for them. Very nice team play, and now, I mean, the Fiend's Gate is so cool, but Mickey in the area, he's in Viz right now. Oh, the S-Save does not connect quick, but they still get the stun. Laguna Blade to follow with the Bloodstone, healing up a decent amount. The BKB popped by Mickey, and that is enough to take out Ori again. He's left by his team via the Fiend's Gate, and Liquid taking full advantage.
Yeah, that missed stun from Mickey ends up costing him a BKB charge, but still well worth it. You're happy to get that kill. And probably the bottom tier 2 tower. I don't think you have a chance of defending this as Aster. Well, maybe they are going to try, actually. XXS?
There's a pit.
Oh, they know there's no BKB, so maybe.
He gets the charge off successfully inside the Pit of Malice. Mickey trying to help him out, but looks like the Chain Frost finally comes out. It's only going to connect a couple times, but Mickey looks to be mega dead, and Zai and company have to get the hell out of here. Zany is successful, but Zai inside the Pit of Malice charged up. And it looks like he's going to be brought down as well. So Aster successfully defend the tier 2 tower.
It seems like Liquid had the same expectation that I did, that tower was just going to be given to them with a dead Lesh, but the crucial part in all of this is that Mickey with the missed stun ends up using the BKB on the first kill, and Aster like, wait a minute, can't we just go on this guy and kill him with Spirit Breaker and Underlord? And they could. There wasn't enough protection there. I don't think there was a defensive dispose from Bo3 to try to reposition and keep him alive. And that's huge for Aster.
Yeah, we have a rupture onto XXS, but the rest of his teammates coming. A nice charge onto 2, but the Blood Right does connect. Silence that Space Cow. But Bo3 just getting right click from afar. And Matu, despite having the BKB, does have the move speed to get away. And no range for the Assassinator, no vision for the Assassinator.
If they had any way of getting vision, that could have been so much bigger for Aster, but they're very, very happy with this for sure. The game was starting to look a little bit scary for a while with the control Liquid were getting, but...
Yeah, and the first Roche attempt is here. As the Aster know that they're in a 5v4 situation.
No BKB on Matumba either.
Yeah.
Bloodseeker is just not a very good hero in this time in the game when you don't have that BKB. It's so hard to run in and do anything. You can just get turned on and blasted. So as it looks, Liquid, I think they really want to try to poke at this, but it's just really difficult. They don't know the exact timing either. Every spider is getting killed outside the pit.
Yeah. Looks like Monet will get the Aegis. Not putting on the Lesh. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's good on both. A lot of the time we do see it on Lesh because you get so much value from getting the full mana refill when you die as well, but maybe the logic is Lesh is less susceptible to dying straight away. He has more health, he has the Bloodstone, whereas if Monet gets jumped, he can just die instantly. And this way you also maybe open up a little bit more for the potential of poking top tier 2 tower with just the Sniper. Lesh needs to go closer and expose himself to do that. Sniper can just safely take it from range, and if you do try to jump on him with your Marcy combination with Lina, you know he has that second life you have to worry about.
Those cores have 4 deaths each, Monet and Ori. But they've kind of brought this game back, Cinder, and it's network-wise very even. Obviously the Aegis is going to help them potentially extend that just a bit. Tower is not being defended yet.
And I think it is worth keeping in mind for a game like this that a lot of the expectation of how the game goes kind of rides or dies with Brood, right? And Zai's impact aside, you know, pushing out this bottom lane being there has not felt like Brood has been a first phase hero, right? Or arguably it has, because Aster solved it so well. A lot of Liquid's Brood game wins, they would be in a much better position than this now. And I think even just in an even game state like this in terms of gold, the Radiant lineup is having a pretty solid time scaling late game. I think a lot of what Brood offers becomes less and less important against this lineup, whereas Aster's lineup is just going to scale to the moon, right? Sniper, Underlord, Lesh, Tricore.
True, Wraith Pack has been there for a little bit on the Underlord, as you see a full here Aster. They trying to go into the end triangle is the question. War Staff picked up from Mickey, actually. That's probably the full Hurricane.
Told it again.
Away. Yep. Oh.
Mind for now. He's still... Oh, he's changing over to Silver Edge. Okay, so... I guess he wants the break for Atrophy Aura. And they need some more damage.
He's gonna get spotted. Charge. Right clicks. Dead. Easy kill for Aster. See if they go for this tier 2 tower bottom now that they have the top. Or if they're just happy to farm away. I mean, how important is it for Aster to use the Aegis in an effective way? Or are they fine just farming? Like you said, they do technically scale better.
Yeah, I think they're fine farming, but I wouldn't mind seeing them trying to use this Aegis for another tier 2 tower. Probably mid is the most accessible one for them right now, because I think Brood really thrives in the bottom tower area. There's so many trees, so many angles you can find there to be annoying for the support. But
he changed his mind again. He went hurt.
oh, he changed again. All right, well, maybe the gold lined up nicely. Liquid are not too phased by the Aegis, though. They're still gonna look to cross the river and maybe make an aggressive move. They do have a double damage on Nikkei, which would be really nice for them to put to use. Bo3 will push out that wave and reposition himself. It looks like Aster are aware that Liquid have some big plan here. Ori also farming very defensively over on the ancient side, making sure to stay all the way left to not get caught. And this move from Liquid will bear fruit in the sense they get some good aggressive wards out. You see they get the good ward over at the Radiant Triangle. And they get a good ward down in mid, so definitely looking for some sort of catch against the Aegis team at some point in the near future. It looks like they'll have to settle for Nikkei just, you know, 10-shotting the top tier 1 tower casually with side pick and double damage. Packing 400 damage with that per hit. Run out. And Aster will opt for the bottom tower rather than the mid one. This was the one they...
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
But that's where Liquid were grouped up and covering the lane, so they will settle for a trade. The off lanes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They will get it successfully. So 2k lead for Aster is the Aegis.
Okay.
Dire
it's expiring in 40 seconds.
They will knock on the high ground though. Sniper very good at this, obviously massive range. The only repositioning tool Liquid have is, aside from an offensive pike from Nikkei, which is probably a bit naive to think is going to happen, you have level 2 dispose. So he's feeling pretty damn safe standing down here hitting this tower. You just keep throwing out one shrapnel if he wants to hit it some more. There we go. He's gonna keep poking at it.
Pop the mathematics. Sending in Ori is coming for Liquid. Ori up. Rupture pops the BKB. That's not going to do too much for him. But
Radiant's middle tower
kept himself away far enough as the Aegis is expiring in 3 seconds. Trying to get through the Fiend's Gate. He does so successfully. And Aster retreat. Part. A couple members here.
Yep.
And Ori can just refill and, oh, okay, does not want to take the Fiend's Gate. He wants the farm up mid.
I'm surprised Ori went in an edict at that tower. I think letting Sniper just keep doing his thing was pretty good. It only cost him a BKB charge, which isn't the end of the world. And I guess he did force the glyph, so maybe it's okay. But if Liquid find a move off it, the story will be very different. Ori is going to walk straight into Bo3.
Laguna Blade, but no, nonetheless. Finally, to Ori. 3 dead overall. The complete segregation of that fight, but Liquid coming out way on top.
Yeah, so what ends up happening there is Lesh has BKB cooldown from bottom, and he's walking in the mid lane together with Spirit Breaker. I think a pretty crucial mistake here from Aster, actually. The two heroes were even stacking up, so they got chain stunned and didn't get a charge up to try to protect Ori. He just walked straight into Matsu, got ruptured and killed, and or actually didn't even rupture, I think. They just hit him and couldn't get away anyway without the BKB. And Liquid will now
able to
play
clean
mid
up to tier 2 mid.
That is a huge swing for Liquid.
No for the next Roche for another minute 40, but that is going to be an extremely important factor in this game, as it usually is. But looking at Ori's item progression, obviously they've had the Bloodstone for a long time. BKB is on 8 seconds. He's only used it once, surprisingly. Yep. Has the casual plate mail, and I would assume an eventual Shiva's, but still going for... I mean, his farm for a Lesh is not very good this game.
No, I think he's had a couple of times maybe pushing one wave too many, and Liquid have done a really good job punishing him overall. The 5 deaths on the Lesh is a major setback. You compare that to Mickey on the Lina with only 2. Has a 50 CS advantage because of this. The thing I wonder here for Ori is if Travels is actually the right choice, because you're obviously playing against Rupture, right? So having extra mobility in the fight isn't necessarily going to translate to more safety or more damage. Whereas having items where you can just stand your ground and survive longer, like you said, the Shiva or something to that effect could be an interesting choice. But maybe even Ags could be a thing this game. You're against Bloodseeker and an attack damage Lina build.
This'll come in handy.
Nihilism. Huh?
I think Nihilism could be interesting, but well, for now it is going to be the Travels, and obviously it depends whether the flow of the game will turn into a little bit more of a stalemate where the teams are just pushing out waves and farming, because then travels are obviously great. But if we have a key fight coming up sometime soon, this might not be the best allocation of net worth that Ori can have at this point in time. Getting those travels up. Roche will be known to us now. It's a long respawn.
Yes.
2:33. Quite a while before Aster potentially get their hands on that. And I do say Aster because they are controlling the area for now. They did get the first one. There's no saying that Liquid can't make a team move in there and contest it.
And Bo3 has his Mjolnir now. Zai has had the Wraith Pact.
And there's the Ags
and is
coming
going
up.
for Aghanim Scepter. Spinner Snare, really.
Yeah, it is very good, this
Are
Ags.
scanning.
When you're playing a Brood role where you don't have to deal very much damage, this Ags is just incredible for map control.
Woke up, but they see Bo3. They're going to start charging him next to Liquid's outpost, technically in control of Aster right now. The charge is there, but the Caution's going to keep him healthy for the time being. Ori, though, and Bo3 end up taking him out with the help of Monet. Just like that, it's a 5v4, but BKB already popped by XXS as they find Zai in the trees, but the charge onto Matu. See what they try to focus here. Firestorm doing a lot of percentage-based damage. Lynch ult coming out, but it's only going to bounce once as Zai just gets cleaned up. Double kill for Monet as the Fiend back to the fountain. They can just refresh and rejoin this fight as Insania looks to be next. 3 dead for Liquid. And Aster looking very good now, but like you said, Roche is not going to be up for another minute, so
Yeah,
they can't
Liquid
take
can
advantage of that.
Definitely consider themselves lucky that this isn't up, because this would have been an easy collateral for Aster. Ward would have forced 2 buybacks out of Liquid, but yeah, just a very different fight in terms of positioning here, right? So you get the charge onto the Marcy, so she doesn't get to play the fight at all. Ori gets ruptured, they get this Marcy kill, they run back, and then they zone control. Underlord is creating tons of space by just running in with a Pit of Malice and just frontlining. Sniper is keeping them at bay with shrapnels. There's the Crystal Maiden ult coming up. It's just too difficult for Liquid to re-engage here. And a nicely played fight here from Aster will secure themselves a good position in the game once again. And the control of the pit, 30-second respawn on that. Both teams will want to get access to this. This is the second Roche, so will come with a little bit of a bonus.
And Mickey has the Daedalus, so he will start to hurt. He's opting to go for a Lincoln Spear as the next item.
Okay, that's I like that approach too. You know, you're feeling a lot safer against the Rupture. You get yourself that freedom of movement.
Well, the Rupture's on his team.
Oh, I was looking at the Lesh. He's also going Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, that one makes sense.
I thought you were
I'm
talking
trying to
Lesh.
figure out this.
Everybody gets a Lincoln.
The charge is very annoying,
Yeah, that's true.
and the only way to take full advantage of that, if you're the Spear Breakers, to get
Dire's
Ags,
top
which
tower
he
is
is
under
going for.
attack.
So the Lincolns won't be that big of a deal at that point.
Aster
As we have a smoke down from Liquid.
poked the Roche and went out. They feel like Liquid are going to come contest this, and they're very right. The top lane is all the way in the tier 3 tower, and no one from Liquid's defending. This is a dead giveaway that Liquid are up to something here. Aster will do the same. Bo3 is terrifying with that Shadow Blade that he's had for a while. If they get vision on anyone, they could just get stunned out of nowhere on Liquid's side with very minimal defense, except like we talked about the Frost Shield, but doesn't really save you from this Radiant lineup very well.
Yep, Ori
Bo3
already
will
used
handle
his
mid.
Bloodstone, thinking that he was going to get jumped, so another 15-second cooldown on that.
Success will find the ward.
Very tense as both teams know that Roche is up.
The Gem knows that Liquid have vision here. Obviously not going to go for the D-Ward. Way too risky. He could get jumped by Marcy and just blasted there. So gets the information, gets back. They have Bo3 clean up mid with the charge. Next wave will now be cut
Is under attack.
by Bo3 as well. Going to clean this up out of the Shadow Blade, just killing all of those spiders in one charge.
Yeah, ever since they
gotta
changed
feel really good.
his bash to do that much damage to creep.
Yeah.
Very, even better counter.
I think this
than
is
he
the
used to be.
most CS I've seen a Spirit Breaker have minute 34 since Xiao played at mid.
Dire's
That's
middle
what
tower
spiders
is
will
under
do for you.
attack.
That is true. I mean, he's halfway to his Ags, and that
Yeah.
thing is crazy. Still posturing on the other side of the map. No one quite ready to fight, knowing that this Roche could potentially decide the game. I mean, it's a little early to call that, but
There's a very good chance that
the
it
win
leads to a
percentage
lane of
with
errors.
second Roche has got to be really high for the against it. As look how close this game was.
Dire are scanning.
Yeah.
68% for Aster. Would you feel that? Watching this right now. The Rupture onto Ori, gets disposed. Ori half HP, he's getting bashed out of Matu, trying to right click his way. Bloodstone's not going to be enough. A 1-for-1, but it's a support for a mid. And Liquid trying to reset. Now the Bo3 is on relatively low HP, disposed onto Matu with the rebound movement speed buff as well. They're able to reset completely.
Now the buyback from Insania, a 5v4 situation effectively here. Lesh has buyback too, but no BKB ready, so if he connects, he has to be careful. The trade-off here, of course, Liquid using 2 of theirs, Marcy and Bloodseeker with a minute cooldown, and Aster are actually confident that this is enough for them to contest the pit. They know they can buy back their Lesh. What can he travel on? They have the outpost too, so the connection point is there.
Ooh. Monet, double damage as well. That's inside, hard to hit him. Malice gets forced staff to safety, but they're going to find a space cow first. Laguna Blade onto XXS. A nice chain cross bouncing as XXS still has the BKB activated. Siamese Cat looks to be next on the list, but double buybacks now from Aster, and they can reconnect relatively quickly. Especially wants to put a Fiend's Gate there. Still 5v5, but that is several buybacks from Aster. But like you said, the BKB is very important for Liquid. Charge on to Mickey, but the Frost Shield is going to be getting a lot of physical damage. Bo3's going to be dead. Trying to help his teammate, and Mickey pops the BKB. Trying to get the dieback onto Ori. He's at half HP, but the Bloodstorm healing up to a high degree. It's not going to be enough. Ori diebacks at Monet. Stuck in someone. He's just stuck there. Trying to right-click his way out of this. Getting some lifesteal now, but Zai is going to be able to take him out in the end. It's going to be close. Monet is still lifestealing, despite just standing still for the last 30 seconds. Matu has already died, and now Baboka trying to chase the Lich, but there's the rebound. Mickey gets instantly stunned. Disposed back. They kill Monet. Finally, he buys back into the game, though, and now the Unleashed going to town on XXS. Bought back himself as well. Looks like Broodmother is next here, though, and now this has turned into a 3 versus 2, technically in favor of Aster, but Baboka dies. That's another dieback for him. Bo3 TPing away. He is successful. 6K lead for Liquid. What the hell was that fight?
That's actually completely insane. If Aster do end up claiming this, I guess they're somewhat okay with what they had to throw for that. They spent, how many buybacks was that? I kind of listed the overview, so
I mean, this isn't even accurate.
4 buybacks, I believe, from Aster used in this situation. Obviously, they had to buy back Ori in the beginning, so again, Ori really not progressing too much.
They want to go. They have the rebound available. Roche is relatively low. The Frost Shield is there, but a nice pit of Malice. Gonna root that. But Bo3 gets to that pit. He gets to dispose of. Who gets the Roche is the question. Nobody wants to kill it. And finally, Monet, he snatches the Aegis. So technically, Liquid get the kill. Not sure who got the shard on top of that, but either way, Aster is happy with this exchange. Looks like Bo3, did he actually take the shard?
Bo3 grabbed it, and in a fit of panic, he used it instantly. I don't think.
Oh no!
I don't think that's the best shard they could have used there. Maybe. What are the other options? Brood or Lina? Yeah, maybe it's actually the best one.
Might be fine. Actually.
Now they have a save that they haven't had before. They can obviously rebound the target away.
All right. Okay, not able to hit the LSA there, but.
I mean, honestly, the craziest thing about the team fight that we just saw was how long Monet stayed alive, right? And it's because he's getting Crimson guarded by the Underlord, so the spiders do 0 damage. Zai has a 0 damage item build, so he's basically tickling him. And Monet was just using Mask of Madness, standing still and pressing A-click on the ground.
I've never seen a sniper stand still for that amount of time. As we have some more action, it looks like potentially Rupture. But Zai is kind of stuck. He's going to get charged at it. XXX is taking the brunt of the damage from Matu. He's going to get bashed up, but we'll be able to get the Fiend's Gate out in time. As Liquid just don't have the damage right now, but Zai, he gets charged in on into the Nether Strike and into the right clicks of Monet. And now with the assault onto XXS, it's just going to add insult to injury, and this push will be even faster for Aster. No pun, I mean, that was a rhyme intended. Tier 2 tower looks to be done. How much more can they get? Still 3.5 minutes on the Aegis.
50 seconds on Brood as well.
Yep.
And Zai does not have buyback gold. They do not know this for a fact, but they might have a feeling based on the Aghanim Scepter being purchased that he cannot reconnect to this fight. Still, you have to be a little bit careful about this high ground push. Marcy is very terrifying on defense, and as we've already established, Bo3 with the dagger doesn't even need to rebound in. He can blink in and dispose and rebound out to maybe force a BKB. He can obviously also rebound in and dispose and then blink out if he's fast enough. If he takes any damage, that is not happening.
He can rebound his teammates.
He could also do that. He could rebound Mickey in and lose the game. That is another option he has.
We have seen it during the DPC. We have seen the Marcy Shard win games and lose games.
Yeah. Yeah, counting the buybacks there.
Yeah.
Wonder if he counted all of them and wrote down all the times. That would be very impressive. That would be inhuman, as a matter of fact.
Indeed. Nice to have a human calculator on your team, as I'm sure you can attest to.
Yep, I have that every game.
Minutes still on the Aegis for Aster, but Liquid, in terms of net worth, have the very slight lead right now. An incredibly close game. DD is bottled for Monet, and I'm sure that they're going to want to use it here to at least get a tier 3, if not try to get a barracks.
That bottom lane is very, very open. Minute 50. I don't know how much is left on the bottle. When did he pick that up? So if he picked it up around 40, it might have been sitting there for a little bit, but should have enough time to maybe connect on a wave. The spinner snares are starting to make life difficult for Aster. Very annoying.
Techies was deleted, but
I actually think
lives on in Brood.
I was saying this is kind of the new old Techies, spinner snare. It is incredibly annoying to play against. Don't underestimate how much the mental means, but well, no snares bottom just yet. Monet pops the DD. Force out the glyph. They will get another glyph after this tower falls, mind you, with the changes. So Liquid do have another round of defense for the barracks.
Tower is finally down.
Yeah, Monet's attack speed is nothing to scoff at. He's got a lot of attack speed items. They have the AC on the Underlord, Mask of Madness activation. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for Aster. This is a big moment now. Liquid will try to find perhaps an angle. Pushing out mid for now. Do they even have any smokes left? They do not. Yeah, they do. They have one on Boxy. So if Liquid do want to challenge something here, they can, but it's a very, very difficult position to access yourself into. You keep scouting them with spinner snare, though. Oh, Monet, well, we can't flip another one. Nope, XXS, however. They'll find another spinner snare. I'm sure he's having a great time there.
They're smoked up, but he knows, right? It notifies them.
Yep. This is not happening.
That is actually hilarious, man. I think it's my first game casting Brood Ags.
It's one of those things that's hilarious to watch, and then you're imagining being a player on Aster.
Oh, of course. Of course.
That's,
but that's Dota, right?
It is very annoying, let me tell you. All right, Liquid. It's time. This is Aegis expiring just now. Aster will place XXS to cover the high ground. Boxy gets shown in.
They know they get the bash up, and Monet is right looking from afar. Mickey about to BKB, gets a Laguna Blade, and now they jump on top of Monet and kill him immediately. No buyback for him. And Baboka now stuck between a rock and a hard place. That's a second. Make it 3 for Mickey. What a fight. What an initiation with no vision, I'm pretty sure. Not able to get the rebound. Boxy has been playing out of his mind. Now down the mid lane, Liquid goes with a 7K lead, knowing that a lot of these buybacks will not be available. Only the Underlord at the moment.
And you just love the confidence from Boxy, right? The smoke breaks, he instantly just blinks up blindly and pops his ult in BKB. Finds a target, the fight breaks out. And Monet tries to come in and help, but they just destroyed him with Marcelina. He didn't even get to play the fight. Probably felt relatively confident with his Butterfly that he had something to stand his ground with, but just not the case. Liquid, are they actually just going to go for it?
They're going to try to go for the drone. They know that Sniper's not back for 60 seconds. Tier 4 is already at half HP. They're going to be able to pick it out pretty swiftly. Can Aster actually defend this in a 3v5 situation? Finally, the fortification is popped. They won't have one for the rest of the game in all likelihood if they continue down this mid lane. Unleashes pop for Boxy, just priming and ready to go. One tier 4 down. Will Liquid continue on here? 33 seconds on Monet. Crimson Guard are trying to make a little bit of damage here, but there's the initiation on X. They get the Rupture on and they force stop him as well, but he's going to live inside the fountain. But the tier 4 goes down as well. And now on to the Ancient. Ori pops the BKB and Bloodstone, but the focus is now on to the Ancient for Liquid. All they have to do is right click that they'll get game 1. Charge in on Boca. Pretty big, but they can continue to right click with the data. That's going to be enough. Liquid takes game 1. Unbelievable. I don't know how this team continues to give everybody heart attacks around the world, but I'm close to that right now, Cinderin. Good Lord.
What an amazing way for them to do that. So the moment Aegis expires, they're like, it's go time. We smoke, they run in, they find an amazing fight. There's no buyback on Aster.